statement and then opportunity for a few questions.
Great.
Are you ready?
Ready?
Yes.
Sheriff?
Okay. First, I'd like to say good morning to each and every one. And update is that everybody was saying it was 2 officers, but actually it was 4. One was sent to Trident to Charleston, and the other one was seen over here at the local hospital at Hampton Regional. I'm glad to say that, and I'm grateful that it ended in a peaceful conclusion. Thank God that my deputies that was injured is going to be all right. We realize that these things do happen in this line of work, but we just grateful that it came to a peaceful conclusion in this matter. Also like to thank all the agencies that came out to help us with this incident. It just shows that you can get a lot done when agencies come together and everybody participate. And it just wasn't just one agency, it was a lot of agencies that involved that caused us to have a resolution to it was peaceful to what we end up with. We also want everybody to know that, the community to know that Hampton County is a safe community. Our goal was to rid it of any kind of activity that would cause people to be unsafe. And with this incident that took place, we was able to reach that conclusion. Another thing I would just like to say that the deputies that was involved, we would just like to respect their privacy at this time and let them continue to mend respectfully. We are not going to release the names of the deputies that have been injured for their privacy and for their that they could be with their family to get back on track. So we just like for everybody to respect that part of their privacy. The investigation is being headed by Slade. Is in charge of the investigation. We at this point right now is all questions pertaining to the investigation that can be answered would come from Slade. We are here just to give support to Slade to move this investigation along. So at this time, if y'all have any questions for me that I can answer, I'll do my best. If not, I'll direct you to Mr. Tom Berry from Slade that see whether he could answer.
You said that there were 4 officers involved. The first 2 were the ones that were injured. The third one was from Varnville who fired a gunshot. Is that correct?
That part of the investigation, that was just assistant agency that was helping us. Actually, that was not a deputy. That was a officer from the Varnville Police Department that was assisting us.
And who was the 4th officer?
3 of them was, all 4 of them was my deputies. 2 of them was mentioned that got injured. The name wasn't released, but we had 2 more that, and I think where they got lost in the shuffle at is that the main focus was on the one that was sent to Trident, and the other 3 was sent right here at the local hospital here. And I'm just grateful that all of them was sent to the hospital, but the end results that they were released last night. They was checked out, and they're still recuperating.
And the one at Trident has also been
all of them have been released.
Well.
Yeah, all of them have been released.
How were the other 2 deputies injured?
I would prefer that to Mr. Barry, because that would be getting into a part of the investigation that would weigh on the particular incident that took place. So I would prefer Mr. Barry to answer that question.
Sheriff Mills, how happy are you that this investigation, or at least this part of the investigation, is now over? That this search has ended fairly quickly, within at least 12 or 13 hours from when it initially started.
Right. Well, I'm very grateful because it's one of those things to, like I said in the beginning, when you get agencies and everybody just stepped up to the plate. Hampton County is one of the biggest judicial counties there is, so circuit. So we have 5 counties within Hampton County, and so we sit like in the middle. So anytime something kick off, everybody usually come and participate, and so that took place on yesterday. We had agencies, Jasper, Carlington, all the agencies around Allendale, came. Beaufort County sent this support. Everybody came to aid us, along with South Carolina Law Enforcement Division and other agencies further than that offered help to come to assist us. So I'm very grateful that we was able to end this in a short period of time, dealing with what we dealt with last night, and everything with the trauma of it last night and this morning, continuation of it, and we was able to bring it to a peaceful conclusion this morning.
Of course, that was a live news conference coming out of Varnville, South Carolina right now, with the sheriff of Hampton County explaining the incidents that have happened over the past several hours. News 3's Danny Dykes is live there on the scene, and she'll have more information for us throughout the day and tonight on News 3, beginning at First News at 5.
Yeah, the little